Let's talk about slavery, how slavery works in the 21st century. So basically the government is going to turn your life into this. So here I'm going to expose some of these practices. So I've been listening a book that talks about this, that is very good. If you want to listen in, I can leave you in the video description the book, so that way you can get it. So basically in the past 5,000 years, all the slaves on the world, you have the master, they give you some food, they give you maybe a shelter, and they will give you a task, and that's it, and the way you go. So the employees in today's age, it works kind of the same. So basically, is better for the slave master, in this case the government, and it's kind of an evil system because they will require you to pay taxes with their fiat. So this is fiat, this is no money, this is just paper. So the money is gold and silver. So basically they are going to create a demand, and if you don't work for the demand, they are going to kick you out from your land or from your house or anything like that. So basically you have no right. So this is how it works when you're an employee undercover. So this is what you can do. So you will have to go to your job, and then they will tell you what time you can get in, they will tell you what time you can get out, they will tell you when can you eat, and they will tell you when you can take a vacation. So basically they will manage almost your whole life. They will tell you exactly why you have to do it, maybe without a whip or anything like that, but it is going to work kind of the same. And the government, because they are all powerful, they will give you this, and that's it. They will not give you money or anything like that. They have the printer, and they can print as many as they want. This happened all over the world, like I said before. And this is a very sad story because, in 1971, Nixon said, okay, from now on, we are going to print as much as we want. The dollar is going to stop being money. It's going to be just fiat.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
So before, you used to earn on this. So in 1964, for instance, the quarters, they used to be made of silver, and the copper, it used to be, and the pennies, they used to be made of copper, and now they are made of anything else except those metals. So they use the cheapest metal that they can find. Also, they are going to make it as cheap as possible, and they don't care. So that is why you have increase in prices all the time, because you have a worthless currency. So that is why the US is the world's reserve currency. Is not the US is not the world's reserve money. So basically this is how it works. So you're going to be taxed as soon as you get your salary. You're going to get your paper money or your fiat. Usually the companies, they will take from that like 30-40%. It depends on the country that you work on. And after that, you're going to, if you want to get, let's say, a marker, a whiteboard, or a car, a house, or anything like that, you're going to pay taxes. So at least here in US, for instance, you have like 5%, 6%. In South America, for instance, in Argentina, they pay like 21% for anything that you buy. So if you buy this, it costs $1, maybe it's just 21 cents just for taxes. So if you buy a car, same thing. And if you buy a land or property, let's say a house or anything like that, you're going to pay a lot. And the government, like I said before, they are going to decree that you have to pay for that, and then you have to exchange your life, your precious life, and your time and everything, just to keep them in power, and to give them all your efforts for almost for nothing, just for free almost. Because because I think I was reading that creating just for the US government here to create one of these is like 50 cents or something like that. So they give you something like that, and for nothing. So you work maybe a half day for a $100 bill, or maybe full day for 200-300, depending on the year that you see this video. Maybe in more, maybe in 10 or 20 more years, $100, maybe you are going to be able to buy only maybe a bubble gum or something like that. So basically, like I said before, if you don't pay the property taxes, the land is never yours, the car is never yours, nothing is yours. I mean, you have no rights. Like I said before, the slaves, they don't have rights. They have duties, and that's it. So if you don't pay anything like that, you don't exchange your labor, for the paper that the government demands, they are going to kick you out, and you're going to be like in Los Angeles, California. You have a lot of homeless people, living on the street, and they have no rights. So basically, that is what is going to happen. And then you have the inflation. The inflation is the expansion of the money supply, or the currency supply, or the fiat in this case. The government cannot inflate the gold and silver, so they cannot create more than what is in the market. So basically they can inflate the amount of dollars or pesos or anything like that that there is in the market. And when they flood the market, it's everything like offer and demand. So if you have a lot of offer and you have a little demand, that thing is going to worth less, like the paper, or maybe iPhones or anything like that. If you have a lot, it's going to worth a little, and if you have a little, it's going to worth a lot. It's like maybe a Camaro, it's 1965. So maybe you will have to pay a lot, maybe 30, 40, 50,000 for a very nice car like that. But if you want to buy something, like a new car, you're going to get it for much less, because they create it in masses and there is no scarcity. So basically, that is how it works with the paper currency that you see around. So like I said before, if you are saving a lot, for instance, in dollars or pesos or anything like that, the hidden tax is something that the government, you are going to have, let's say, $1,000 in your bank account, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to buy, the next new iPhone, but because there is the prices are increasing, or inflation, like most people say, the iPhone is going to cost maybe 1,200 or 1,300 or more, or something like that. And then you have to keep working more, and exchanging your life just for a piece of paper. And the same thing with the property. So what they do, another thing that they do that is very evil, this is, for instance, the price of the property. So let's say your house is like $200,000, but because there is inflation, or just the rising of prices, instead of paying X percentage for the amount of for the value of your house, that is 200,000, now your house is 300,000 or 400,000. So you will have to work even more, even harder, just to pay the property taxes, so that way you can stay in your house. So I've been in a customer here in downtown. This customer, she told me, okay, I'm selling this property because the property taxes are increasing a lot, and I cannot keep paying. So basically, like I said before, she's a slave, so she cannot stay in her house because of this. So one of the solutions that you're going to have with this, after all the bad news that I gave you, is stop being an employee. Just have your own company. So by having your company, everything that I told you is going to be less painful, or you don't have to work as hard as an employee, and you're going to have more rights. So basically, you can go to eat at the time that you want. You can work as many hours as you want, and if you don't want to work, you don't work. If you want to take a vacation, like a year or two or something like that, if you have all the fiat in your bank account or something like that, or you can maybe have a business that will provide like passive income. So that is another book that I recommend, is the Rich Dad Poor Dad. So it will help you to understand that we are in the rat wheel and we have to try to escape of that, so that way we don't become a slave of the government, or at least we can mitigate it a lot. So by having your own company, you're going to have, you know, X amount of dollars that you can generate, and everything that you get, you can deduct. You know, if you buy a car, you can deduct it. If you buy a house or a property, let's say for rental or something like that, you can deduct it. But when you're an employee, you cannot deduct anything. So if you buy a house, if you buy a, you know, a car, or if you buy a new computer or anything like that, you cannot deduct anything. So that is why employees is in the worst place that you can be. So when you have a company, you have more rights in this case. And if you pay in, you know, sales taxes, car, or anything like that, it's like you have more loopholes to avoid all the heavy burden that, you know, most employees have when they pay taxes. And another thing is, for instance, the taxes that you're going to have, the hidden taxes, for instance, the prices. In US now, we have a like 15 or 20% inflation or increase in prices. So basically, if you're an employee, you know, you get a salary, they will raise it maybe 5%, 7%, or something like that, but it's never going to match up the real increase on prices that you have in the market. So basically, you're going to be stuck, and you're going to be underwater. So basically, by working for yourself, you can earn a lot more, like 10 times more, and you will have more freedom, and you're going to be able to deduct a lot of taxes. So at least in my case, most company, you know, you can deduct almost anything, and you're not going to be paying almost anything in taxes, or very little and legally, because all the system is rigged, you know, to help the companies, and to push to keep under their feet, you know, all the employees. Also, when you go to school, you go to university, when you go to the university or high school or anything like that, they train you how to be an employee. They will not train you how to create a good company or anything like that. So hopefully this video was useful. If you have any question, please let me know in the section below, and talk to you next time.